We did it.
Live. We
We are
did
live.
it.
What's
Hi,
going on,
Bestie.
everybody? Monday Night Besties, DC Hendricks, and the lovely Amanda Savage. We are streaming everywhere. BodySlam.net. Make sure to go to slamchats.com and donate to support the team. Do some great work. They work really hard to give you all the great wrestling content. So go ahead and support slamchats.com. We're streaming everywhere, so go ahead and comment. Let us know what you're thinking of the show. Get your comments on Raw tonight. We want to read it all. So we are here with you each and every Monday night around 11:15 after Raw. Gives us a little bit to get ready and get set up. So let's get into it. I mean, there's a lot to get to, but before we even get to tonight, Amanda, what happened, we got to kind of recap things because there kind of was a big pay-per-view that happened just a couple of days ago in case you missed it. But the Royal Rumble, obviously a Raw winner and Cody Rhodes going back to back. And obviously Bayley wins the Women's Royal Rumble. But before we even get to what transpired tonight, we got to recap what happened at the Royal Rumble. What were some of your favorite moments? Obviously, ladies first, as always. What were some of your favorite moments from the Royal Rumble?
You know, I got a little emotional multiple times during the Women's Rumble. I think Naomi coming out, I literally teared up. I was so very excited, and kind of just having that moment was just felt really special. I'm a back in the day Total Divas fan. I'm not going to ever lie about that. So seeing Naomi, real life Trinity in the ring with Natalya, and just having kind of a moment for everyone to show appreciation, honestly, kind of for both of them in a way, because they are sort of these pioneers of the women's division as we know it today, was really exceptional. And then the other time I actually got emotional was Jade coming out. Made me really hit me because I loved her so much in AEW. So I'm so excited to see her and her debut. I thought was just so epic. But then just that moment between she and Bianca, which I think maybe hasn't been talked enough, but the piece that I think I noticed was that Jade was holding up Becky Lynch. Yep. And Bianca was holding up Liv Morgan. They weren't. It's not that anyone on the roster would have been more appropriate for that moment, but what was so iconic for me about that exact situation was they just dropped these other amazing superstars who are former champions, all of that, in order to face off with each other. I thought that was just the quintessential moment to start what could, in my opinion, be a super really exciting rivalry, or maybe even really cool
or a tag team maybe
at some point. Honestly, my dream of life would be, quick diversion, my real dream of life is a Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton, and Jade trio. That I think would be the wildest thing. So that would be very exciting. Anyhow, it was exciting to see Tiffany Stratton in the Rumble. I love some NXT people showing up. I just really love NXT too, so I'm one of those that was an exciting time. What did you enjoy about the Rumble?
Yeah, so my favorite part of the Rumble obviously was actually kind of similar, but I enjoyed just the final six. And I say that because there's so much to be said, and obviously everyone's big highlight, the TNA incorporation into the Royal Rumble this year, obviously the women's division, Jordynne Grace and Naomi, as we all know, returning home to WWE. So very exciting with that. That partnership is going to be crazy. But for me, it was the final six in the women's Royal Rumble because there's so much story within that final six. You know, you have Liv Morgan in the final six, and obviously makes it to the end once again and falls short in the final two. But you have Jade Cargill, her first time in the Rumble, creates all kind of buzz, has a great first debut. Our first time seeing her in WWE, and obviously, picking up Nia Jax like she was a kid was pretty awesome. So her being in the final six. But you kind of alluded to it when you talked about, your dream trio. Now, I loved Tiffany Stratton being in the final six. Now, obviously, her coming out at 29 helped those out.
Sure, right.
But I'm a big Tiffany Stratton fan. She, for me, is the Braun Breaker of the women's division. And what I mean by that is she has been long overdue for the main roster. Long overdue. Yeah. In fact, I thought they were running out of things for her as well. Right. She's just that good. and she's put out the body of work. So I felt like having her in the final 6 gave her a lot of shine as well, which I love. It's a testament to the future for her. And obviously, you obviously have Bayley in the final 6. So for me, it was just a lot of story being told within the final 6. The Women's Rumble stole the show for me for the entire show. I could have did without Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. I could have did without that, quite honestly. Roman's match ends in typical fashion. That's why we don't like SmackDown. That's why we're Monday Night Besties and not Friday Night Besties.
Exactly.
Right? But the Men's Royal Rumble, obviously, to take away, Cody Rhodes making history, back-to-back Royal Rumble winner. They were teasing it all the way up into it. So we pretty much all had that thought, like, all right, he's probably going to go back-to-back, because they kept mentioning it over and over, and it's like, all right, we get it. But it came down to the final 2, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, just like we all thought. But unfortunately, we had another injury. Yeah, another one, Amanda. Well, like, what are we can't keep anyone healthy on Raw. What's going on?
I would just like to say the Besties are not the Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. We are not creating havoc with this live show.
No,
because it's not us. But we do have another week where we have a big time injury to talk about. It's so hard for me because I feel like I've personally been on a wild ride with CM Punk, just because you're kind of, the time I start covering wrestling is really when things start getting really just fascinating. So to kind of have him come back to WWE and be on sort of the brink of this moment, and then to now have it kind of snatched away from me feels, kind of, I mean, it's not from me, but like, I do feel like I was just getting there. I was becoming besties with Phil. I was there, and now we're not there.
He was on first name basis with you, and now we go back.
We go back
to CM Punk. So I feel you on that. And obviously this isn't, he's had matches since he's been back in WWE. He's done like house shows and he's Dominic Mysterio. So like, this wasn't, for a lot of people that's been saying, oh, his first time back in the ring.
Yeah, no.
This isn't the first time. It was just the first time the world seen him in the ring. And tore his triceps. And if anybody has done that before or done any medical history, if you need surgery for that, it says pretty much up to 6 months. Yeah. So that we'll see how that goes. Obviously he starts Monday Night Raw tonight. With the promo, and obviously, comes out in the little arm sling. And Drew McIntyre, who reports say is the one that injured him, not on purpose,
right?
But his DDT is the move that reportedly injured and tore the triceps on CM Punk. So they're playing into that, and Drew McIntyre comes out in the promo and says, "Look, like I prayed, I wish this would happen for you." Like,
that line was so cold.
Sorry, not sorry, bro. Like, I wish this, and I got my wish. Like, this is what I wanted. What did you think of that whole? I loved it. Obviously, I'm loving the whole new heel Drew McIntyre. But what did you think of the beginning of Raw tonight?
It was one of those where you go from this kind of deep. It's something that I think a lot of times only professional wrestling can give you, right? So you're emotionally invested with this man who's telling a story of an injury that's preventing a childhood dream from coming to fruition that he's been waiting over a decade for. Then he starts likening it to someone in his personal life who has cancer with a family. And so you're like in this real deep emotional state. And then there's a sword sound. And here comes Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
And he has no mercy. And additionally says that he prayed for this to happen. And he slept like a baby that night, finding out that bad news. And it was just one of those, like, truly, I would say, beautiful professional wrestling moments where it never kind of plays out the way that you might expect, because there's this way to, like, interweave reality and fiction. I think that's something they've been doing really exceptionally, specifically lately. Similarly to sort of the Seth announcement. In the same way that it was giving this bad news, but then coupled with this future storyline tease sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So that was just really, it's the high highs, it's the low lows. But to tell someone that they prayed, like he literally said something to the effect of, "I'm not a very spiritual person, but I prayed for this." And it was just, it was so cool.
I felt it, and you can see it on CM Punk's face, like,
yes,
all right, wait till this arm gets better, bro. And
exactly.
I think this injury changed WWE's plans for Elimination Chamber, right? Because they were already hyping up that CM Punk was going to be at Elimination Chamber and was probably going to win it, like, right? Like, I mean, there's other guys that probably have a good story to win it, but obviously with CM Punk being in the last two of Cody and being the last one gone, that instantly makes him the favorite to win the Chamber.
Right.
So this I think changes those plans as well. And right now, I know we'll talk about it later because the main event that happened just a few moments ago with Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn, I think is pretty much setting up who is the new favorite to walk out of Elimination Chamber, but we'll get to that. But Monday Night Raw started with the bang tonight with that big promo, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, storytelling. They're altering the story, and I love it. I love the way it started. I also wanted to get your opinion too, because before that, so obviously another thing that's been changing is the announce teams.
Sure.
So to start the show, they announced the new Raw announce team. So no more Wade Barrett on Raw, and instead we're going to get Michael Cole and Pat McAfee on Monday Night Raw, who made his Royal Rumble debut. If anybody got to check that out, or didn't even know he was gonna be in the Rumble. But what do you think about the new Raw announce team with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee?
I love Pat. I'm a Pat fan. I didn't really realize two things. I didn't realize how much of a Friday night vibe Pat is because it's Monday night, and I was like, come on, Pat. You know what I mean? It was like you're in almost a different headspace.
Yeah.
So some of some of his Patness I realized was, I'm usually on a different vibe when I hear
right.
From
yeah, I'm usually like, it's Monday.
Yeah, it's just a different moment.
The week just started, and Pat got me, especially when Jey Uso came out, I was like, okay, hold on.
Pat's out here. Yes, this is a Friday night moment, but Pat's here now. So Pat's a Monday Night Bestie. I'm excited about Pat being back. I think this is presumably a little better for Pat's like real life schedule, would be my guess. So any way that we can get Pat and Michael Cole back together, because I do honestly think that Pat brings out, I think he just breaks Michael Cole immediately. Like, I think that Michael perhaps forgets to some degree that they're on television in front of millions of people. Like, you kind of do get the sense that every now and again he'll trip him up truly, and he will just, his hilarious Chelsea Green tonight was very amusing. I mean, those are those moments that I think that you can really only get from Pat pulling them from Michael Cole. So I love their partnership. I'm excited about them being back together. I don't know. I'm excited to, in general, see what happens for SmackDown. I don't know. We could talk about commentators all day long, but I'm a Booker T fan.
NXT.
I think that, I don't know. I like both Vic and Booker T. I like them together, though. So it's that same thing where there's kind of the combination can be the magic. But I'll also be excited to see who pops by on Friday, like what goes on as far as what that stable commentary team is meant to look like moving forward. But
yeah, they brought a lot of energy tonight. Tonight was a different.
It was a lot of energy.
Tonight was different, and I really enjoyed it. I'm with you. I think Pat McAfee. I love his sports show, his talk show that he does anyway, and he brings it's just another way to extend his personality on Monday Night Raw. So we're lucky enough to have him on Monday nights, and I think brings a whole new vibe. Now I wanted to translate because you brought a name up that I definitely want to highlight. I feel like she's a name that does not get, like, maybe some of us on social media give her the hype that she deserves, but Chelsea Green, you talked about her a little bit ago. She is, I don't think it's talked about enough what she's done to create this new lane and this whole new career for her. Like, she is, obviously came back, and since she's came back, she, didn't really resurrect the women's tag titles, but definitely brought a lot more excitement to them with everything that she's been, Sonya Deville gets injured right when, they become a team and win the belts. And then, Piper Niven just joins, is like, I'm your partner now. We're champions. And it's like,
it's happening.
And going to social media and the way she uses her social media platforms, and she's going to go talk to WWE officials about Adam Pearce and like all this. I am loving Chelsea Green right now. And I wanted to get your thoughts because I kind of get the vibe that you feel the same way, maybe. But
I
even at the
do.
Royal Rumble, like she is really growing on me. I wasn't the biggest fan at first, probably because I didn't know a whole lot about her, admittedly. Like I
Yeah.
didn't see a whole lot of her first run. So I just wasn't aware. But like,
Yeah.
so when I first started seeing her when she first came back, I'm like, who is this? Like,
Yeah, what is this?
But
yeah.
She's really growing on me, Amanda.
I love Chelsea Green. Okay, like love. I was so it wasn't TNA, it's Impact. I was an Impact TNA lover of Chelsea Green. I really loved her tag team with Deonna Purrazzo. I was like, oftentimes when I'm going through my clothes to get rid of clothes, I imagine, would I let Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo see me in this? And if the answer is no, those gotta go, because that means you're looking foul in the streets. You need to stop. Like, I literally will let the imagination of them bully me into making choices sometimes. So, love Chelsea Green. Obviously, I love that she's got the special Chelsea Green back because it's the best. It's my favorite thing. I think that she's the best possible example of how you can embody a character and how it adds so much to a match, because it doesn't, everything she does is important. Every face is important. Every movement is important. Every look, every eye, everything matters. And I don't think there's anything I like more in professional wrestling than that, where I feel like that feels like art to me. Yes, I did just say that. You can crop it. Chelsea Green is art.
Yes,
she
I'm
is.
glad we're on the same page. I'm loving her character right now. She's bringing the best out of Piper Niven as well.
Yes, they're funny together. Their nightclub scene with yes, it was so good. Yes. Everything about that is wonderful. I can't wait till Sonya Deville's back. I think that would be funny.
That's going to be crazy. I thought she was going to be back at the Rumble. There was that's a whole nother discussion too, but there were so many people that I thought would be back at the Royal Rumble that did not. Now I blame social media for that, because they always get our hopes up.
That's
I'm gonna start blocking people. when we get close to the Royal Rumble, I'm gonna start blocking people, because you get all these spoilers and all this, and they get your hopes up thinking people are coming back. Sonya Deville was one of them. I was hoping she'd make a return, but definitely couldn't have highlighted tonight without giving Chelsea Green some more love, especially after her Royal Rumble performance as well. But we're staying in the women's division right now, because a lot of advancement. Bayley. Obviously the Kabuki Warriors defended had a match tonight with Natalya and Tegan Knox. Felt bad for him because the crowd was dead. I felt so bad. I don't understand. I don't know what was happening, but after that match, finally got to pick me back up, because it was rough. Like, I felt so bad for those women, because the crowd was just not into it. And then Bayley comes out and saves it. Right? Bayley comes out, the Royal Rumble winner, and ended up putting together my favorite segment of the night, honestly. And we got more to talk about later, but for me, the segment for me tonight was Nia Jax coming out and for the first time making mommy Rhea Ripley look vulnerable. The first time in her title reign, she's been knocked down a couple of times and actually looks weaker than ever. So I thought that's a big, and Nia Jax is another one too. Since she's been back, I think she's taken on this heel role, and I think taking it to a whole new level. She was great at the Royal Rumble. She's getting better on the mic. She still has a little work to do, but I think she is growing on the mic. She's getting better, taking in her character. But comes out and tells Bayley after knocking out Rhea and says, "You better pick Io." And that was it. You better pick Io, because Nia Jax obviously has her sights set on Rhea. But what do you think about that whole segment tonight? And where do you think, because we all expect Bayley to pick Io, right? I mean, we're expecting that, the way that story is going with Damage Control and how they're leaving her out of stuff and just mistreating her. I feel like the consensus believes that Bayley will pick Io anyway. But what did you think of that whole segment tonight?
I appreciate that there has to be anticipation, right? Which I think is sort of also what the purpose of the Cody and Seth promo was like to make things a little more murky. Yeah, I think, well, I guess when I was writing it, so this is kind of what's interesting is that when you're actually like writing an article and you're trying to figure out what is going on, what was funny to me is that it was a tag match, and then Bayley was there, and then all of Damage Control was there, and then Rhea interrupted, and then Nia interrupted. And so it felt very much like you got the sense that Bayley can go either way. Like she probably may or may not have even been planning to say anything. Like that was kind of what she said to Nia in the corner. Like, yeah, you interrupted me. I said, I'll say on Friday. Like I wasn't even trying to say that. So it's sort of a savvy, I mean, not sneaky, but it's like a savvy way to continue that story and not drag it out, but kind of drag it out because we're a little bit far off from where we're headed. What I don't understand is if we just zip all the way ahead. I mean, I don't know. I'm bad with dates, so I don't know when Io's last title defense was. But it feels maybe it just feels longer ago than it was. But if there's any,
I think it was against Michin
match in the chat.
I think it was against Michin on Friday Night SmackDown.
Okay, yeah, that was actually
a while ago. Yeah.
So that's okay. That's not that far ago. But so I'm thinking like, are we going all the way from that to April with Io, or is there something in between? And if there isn't something in between, I think that there's something more fascinating perhaps around the corner for this. Like, I don't think that it plays out. Oh, okay, here we go. 2-3 weeks ago. Oh, I can click it. Doop, boop, 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 boop. Okay.
2-3 weeks ago against
a couple weeks ago. That stacks. That was for the title. It sounds like I recall that piece of the puzzle. But I don't know if she even has a feud, or she kind of like how do we get from point A to point B? I guess is the part that I'm excited to find out more.
I bet you she doesn't even announce it Friday.
Right. It probably continues to be like ongoing.
It'll keep going. But that's what I loved about it though, is because like now they're creating this new route, right? Because before it was Bayley's going to win the Royal Rumble and she's going to face Rhea Ripley, and then they're just going to hold all the gold. But now this is the beginning of creating that, that problem within Damage Control and kind of stirring the pot a little bit, as because Io, I don't know if you watch her face. During the promo, she's nervous already anyway, right? Because at any moment Bayley could just say, "I choose you." So that's what I loved about it, though. Triple H has really been doing really well with the women's division as of late. It's think about where we were a year ago compared to now.
Right.
It's not even close how far we've come since then, at least in my opinion, especially the way they've been building the women's division as a whole, the contenders, the champions. And so I'm loving that Nia Jax is, kind of throwing herself in because, she's the big dominant heel, and nobody's beaten, like Rhea didn't beat her one-on-one. So
no,
she's yet to have that one-on-one match. We'll probably get it at Elimination. I think we're going to get that at Elimination Chamber. I don't think Nia Jax is even going to be, because I mean, technically she's Australian born. Nia Jax is. So they're both, So that you add that factor in. Yeah, you add that factor in.
There we go.
We'll see where that goes. But either way, I'm still loving what they're doing with that segment. But if you guys have any comments, of course, comment. We're streaming. I think we're live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. Get those comments. Keep them coming. Let us know what you thought of Monday Night Raw tonight with the Monday Night Besties. Get your Royal Rumble thoughts. We're talking everything tonight. And, of course, you got to go to slamchats.com to donate and support the team here at BodySlam.net. We do a lot of great stuff for you, and there's a lot of different shows, a lot of different writers. So go ahead and support. Go ahead and go to the website, slamchats.com, and keep those comments rolling. But you alluded to it, so I want to go ahead and go into it. Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, a lot of people's probably favorite moment of the night, because, I mean, Cody's got to finish the story, right? We all know it's Roman. Roman, he even pointed to Roman after winning the Rumble. He pointed to him and said, "I choose you." But as you kind of were talking about with EO and Bailey, Seth comes out and tries to make a case for the World Heavyweight Championship. He tries his best. I thought he did pretty good though.
He has some
If
compelling
anybody can
arguments.
if anybody could bring some firepower to the mic, it's Seth freaking Rollins, right? So I'll let you go first before I even get into it. What did you think of Cody Rhodes coming out and Seth Rollins coming out and kind of trying to change Cody's mind on who he picks for WrestleMania?
I think he did have compelling arguments.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of the emotional weight of what he was saying was really fascinating. Amongst the numerous WWE stars that I don't think that folks talk about their actual acting ability that often, but like Cody can tell you a story without speaking. Like you can mute that man and you can catch so much of the emotion. And that was what was quite compelling for me, was that I consider him another performer that I don't think things are accidental. I think that he's doing this. This is an artistic effort and these things are intentional. And for him to emote in the way that he was at the points that Seth was landing made me go, oh shit, like we might be doing this. That was because it was not something. It was a very creative moment between, I think, two people who genuinely take this as an art form. And Seth Rollins is another person who I don't think does things errantly. They're intentional. The looks are intentional. One of my favorite small moments was that he threw his sunglasses, like he didn't care about them. And Pat, the most funny thing was you could tell that Pat kind of clocks that those are typically quite expensive sunglasses, because Pat went, oh no, and like kind of jumped to look for where they went. It was like, yeah, that's wild. But it was one of those where I don't think either of them are doing things without intention. And so for that to have such an emotional heft made me, I don't care what's in the main event. I'm sorry, I think I'm supposed to have like really super strong opinions. I think it's okay. I don't know. I'm almost ready to resign to the.
My only problem, though, and I think you'll agree, right, is we've seen them face 3 times already.
Yeah,
And Cody beat him all 3 times.
My
so
other
it's like, what are we doing here? Are we doing a best of 7 series? Like, is this the NBA Finals? Like, best of 7? Like, that's my first thought. Is like, we don't want to great matches, right?
Yeah.
I mean, great matches, but I don't want to see it again. Like, because we know Cody's going to win, right?
I also have a Cody quote burned into my mind where he said that, like, no disrespect, it was around the time that title was sort of brought forth, and it wasn't like, not that I don't want it or I am not good for it or whatever. Like, it's not. It's a great title, but that's not the one. That's not that's not finishing the story. That's not it. And so then it made me kind of, in this emotional moment, I was like, oh, come on. You can't tell me this now is the Dusty Rhodes Championship. Like, you're emotionally manipulating me, Seth Rollins. I don't appreciate this. I think,
another part of,
I don't need to see it again. You're right.
I don't either. But I did love that. I mean, he is like bagging on Roman. Like, so when Seth talks about Roman, like, you can like feel it. Like, he's like, he's he comes back once a week, then it's every couple weeks, and then it's once a month, and then it's every 6 months. It's like, dang, bro. Like,
I don't think he likes that man.
I mean, he's right. He's 100% right. But like, I thought he did a great job on the mic, and he called it, what do you say, the Hulk Hogan Championship. He was like, or do you want the Dusty Rhodes Championship?
Yeah.
He knew that would, perk the eyebrows of Cody a little bit. He was like, oh, okay. And so to prolong things, Cody says he'll think about it, but there's no way, right? It's still Roman, right? It has to be.
I hope so, but
yeah. I mean, I can't, like I said, and then like Seth with the injury, like, we still don't even know if he's going to be ready for WrestleMania.
in my mind, why are we not just going like, let Seth Rollins heal, let CM Punk heal, see you later.
Yeah, see you later.
Just
Let's let them both get
like
it.
just.
And
I
another
don't know.
question,
Maybe.
So I had a question. Somebody DM'd me earlier before we started this, and they asked an honest question that I really don't have an answer to, other than it's not in the story. But if Seth is really hurt, why hasn't Damian Priest cashed in? And it's like, I don't like, how do I, other than like, that's just not part of the story right now. But like, if he's legitimately injured, like, why wouldn't he? You know, so like, there's a lot of holes, I guess. So
there are some holes for sure
within the storyline with what's going on with the World Heavyweight Championship. So I think, with that being said, I think that's enough right there to say that he has to go after Roman. Like, at least we know Roman is going to be ready for WrestleMania,
right?
And like, you know, so at least that's my opinion. But if anyone has any thoughts, comment. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch.
Yes, we are. What do you think? Let us know. I can push the button.
Who should Cody Rhodes go after at WrestleMania for the belt? Because I think it's still got to be Roman. I think Seth did a great job with the promo, but there's no way. I wasn't sold. I don't want to see it again, but that was definitely, I mean, it was one of the most important parts from tonight, I think. So we had to, and I'm sure things will progress even more next Monday as well. But another thing I wanted to talk about too is, you know, if we got any comments, just interrupt me and throw them on the screen, and we'll get them on. But so we got some advancement with the Judgment Day again, where it's like, it feels like it's going to end. Like, it feels like they're right at the end of the road, and then they take us 10 steps back. So I feel like the Judgment Day gained a few days back, got a few more lives, so to speak. If anybody plays video games, that's kind of a video game analogy, but got a few more lives, right?
Yeah.
Because to retain the titles tonight in a great match. I'm not the biggest DIY fan. I'm not. I will come on record. I'm not a big Gargano guy. I do like Ciampa by himself, but I'm not a big DIY guy. I didn't really watch them. So like, I feel like you had to watch them in NXT to really get the whole thing. And I missed that time. Yeah. But tonight, great match. What did you think of the Judgment Day tag team title match tonight against DIY?
I love how I feel like on Raw in particular, the matches are given a lot of time to breathe. And that was one that they had time, and you got to see kind of a lot of cool things. It wasn't, let me like pack as much DIY as possible into a short segment. Like, you kind of get to see that they're not just a jumper on flippy style. Like, it doesn't have to be quite so, like, they can hold their own kind of a thing in this match with Judgment Day. I just want those tag titles to get separated so badly that to make it feel like somebody has some
or combined. Or combine them. Just combine them into one set of tag team titles.
Yeah, it's just one, and we just have one now, and that's just what we do. But that makes me just always feel like it's like this clog of the whole tag team division of like they're chasing something that's so much more difficult to achieve in a way. I mean, it's sort of like do we see them on SmackDown? Do they go? Are there? It's not a floating one. It's just like, this is on Raw.
It's just Raw.
And that is what it is.
We were for a little while. But we
they
haven't seen them on SmackDown in a while.
But I don't know where that goes either. So I'm kind of curious to see how the tag division goes, like the men's tag division going into WrestleMania, because it's typically gets kind of exciting. But I do sometimes think, again, I'm not the best with statistics, but in my mind, it ends up being multi-team matches some of the time. And it would be nice to see like a really meaty, emotional tag team story be told going into Mania, because I don't think we've had, with the exception of last year's Mania with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn with the Usos, other than that, so that's been the last year. I'm not sure there's been, I would say New Day and Imperium is pretty emotionally charged, but it's not for a championship, right? So something kind of like that.
I think that is something that's being built as well, but I think that's more being built for Big E to return. I think I said that last week. I even more after tonight. I'm like, there's no way that this doesn't include Big E. There's no way that that's not what we're working towards.
I hope so.
I don't think they're. But what frustrates me about this whole thing is with the tag team belts for both men and women. It's like it always seems like whoever has the belts, they're building the tag teams on the opposite show. Like right now, Judgment Day is on Raw, and they have all the tag belts. But SmackDown is the one that has, Karrion Kross's new group. You obviously have the Street Profits with Bobby Lashley. Like the tag teams are on SmackDown. You got Pretty Deadly, whether you're a fan of them or not, still a legitimate tag team.
Yeah.
Like, and you got, LWO. You got the Legado El Fantasma with Santos Escobar. All the tag teams are on SmackDown. So like either you're going to be on both shows, or we're going to split these up. Like we got to figure that part out. So I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that 100%. That's why I was I'm expecting something different.
Does have all the tag teams.
All the men's tag teams. That's why I'm so confused on what they're like. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that until a couple Fridays ago. When Karrion Kross, his new group, and Bobby Lashley's group, when they first, what are they called again? The Pride.
Yes.
I got to get used to that name because that name makes no sense. But Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits and Karrion Kross's group, when they first started going head to head, I'm like, this is awesome. But like, it'd be better if there were belts involved.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think WWE knows that they need to figure out both tag team divisions. And I think they're trying to figure it out and kind of just testing the waters as they go. And at the same time, they're trying to build one of the most memorable factions in the Judgment Day. Like they're trying really hard.
Right. Yeah.
But I think tonight though, that was one of the best, in my opinion, that was the best match on tonight's Raw. I think the tag team title match was the best actual match. Now we did have Drew and Sami Zayn in the main event again, which all right. I think they fixed a couple times too, and Drew's beating him and beat him again tonight. But I think the best match overall was the tag team title match. But obviously kind of putting everything into contrast, other than to highlight a few moments for you tonight, what was some of your other favorite highlights from tonight?
Oh,
because the only thing we missed, we didn't talk a whole lot about the Gunther Kofi Kingston match, which also was a lot better than I thought.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that. Like that can continue because there is still these different stories and I do think in order for it to lead to something that feels like vindication, then Big E something has to happen because the way that they were double teaming Woods to get him away, like it was just like the numbers. You have the numbers every time, but that's not true. New Day has the numbers if Big E is here too.
That's right.
I don't know if this is supposed to make us mad, but this made me laugh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Besties. How are you? Nice to meet you. I'm glad you're here.
Fragile body, fragile mind.
When things are funny. So if you haven't noticed, I'm new to being able to click a button that has the chats come up. So you guys should just use that to your advantage, besties. Right. You can get me to break as much as possible by just engaging your faces off. I do think something that I got excited about was finding out where Andrade goes. So it sounds like he's kind of signed will be on Raw. So I think that's I don't hate the idea of Andrade and Gunther. That sounds good to me. That sounds like crazy Chop City, United States of America. So we could do that.
I'm hoping for Jey Uso Gunther. That's what I'm hoping for.
I mean, I would like
give me that. Give it. And I mean, his match wasn't too bad tonight either with Big Bronson Reed.
Yeah, that was fun.
Forgot about it, but that happened tonight. So that everybody pretty much expected Jey Uso to win that match, but But you talked about Andrade going to Raw. I love that segment for two reasons. One, like I am really glad, and like nobody take this the wrong way, but I am really glad they didn't just throw him on SmackDown and with the LWO storyline.
Yeah,
I hate
like
to
I
say
want
that,
it, but
but
also,
like, please don't. Like,
yeah.
because I thought, especially in the Royal Rumble, when he's I think Santos went up to him,
Mm.
you know, trying to, you know, like, hey, what's up, man? Andrade's like, nah, bro, like, I'm good.
No.
So like, when that happened, I'm like, they're really gonna do this, aren't they? They're gonna throw him in this storyline. So I'm really glad he's away from that. First of all, but
Yeah.
another part of that segment, now this breaks my heart a little bit because we're Monday Night Besties. But at the
Yes.
end of that, Nick Aldis got a call from who? Braun
Braun
Breaker.
Breaker.
I almost cried, Amanda. I was so upset. I thought it was almost set in stone that he was going to Raw. He said he wasn't done with the Judgment Day. I thought Monday Night Raw was going to get him. And Nick Aldis like, Braun Breaker. It's like, so that for me, that was the worst part of the night. We're doing best and worst. The worst part is
Yeah, the
Raw
worst
doesn't get
part.
Braun Breaker.
Oh,
To
that's a
me, he
sad
screams Monday
one.
Night Raw. To me, Braun Breaker just feels like a Raw superstar. I don't know why, but I was really upset by that. So we're doing best and worst of tonight.
Yeah, I do think that Braun Breaker is very Raw to me. I don't know. I guess SmackDown has a lot going on. What is it? Oh, 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 oh. I don't
They
know.
could
I
be
feel
ending the
like
brand split sooner than later.
I
They
feel
might as
like
well because the draft existed for like a show, and then everyone was already on
yeah.
the opposite. Like everyone was already like people were on Raw, and then they would appear on SmackDown. They didn't, and this is a week after the draft, so they might as well. But yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Get your slam chats. Do it,
That's right.
besties.
True Heel Heat Wrestling. Go to slamchats.com. Donate. Help us out. Right?
Thank
We're the
you.
Monday Night Besties. You're our besties. So we need the
You're
support. Go to slamchats.com to donate and support to the team. But as we're and you can do so after this. You don't have to do it just
Yeah.
right now. You could do it when you get
Oh,
free time to set
yeah.
it aside, slamchats.com, and go donate and support.
Yeah.
But as we wrap up and kind of look ahead to next week and next Monday, what are some things that you're looking to hope to get more clarity on? You know, for me, I definitely want to see where the Seth Cody story goes. I'm a little bit intrigued. I still want it to be Roman, but Seth got me a little intrigued with that promo tonight. But what are some things that you're looking to get some clarity on as we go to next Monday?
You know, I had my heart pretty much set on Rhea and Becky being the Mania program, but I wouldn't hate seeing that even like further expanded because I don't think that Becky Lynch in a match necessarily needs a title. So I think there could be a way for that, like to see how that kind of grows. I think Raw is doing a super good job of everything with the women's division. So I'm excited to see. My bold prediction is that
Okay, here we go.
at least one women's match on one night of Mania won't be for a title. Like there'll be a for funsies one. You know what I mean?
So
Because I
just a
do
good
think
rivalry match.
yeah, just like we hate each other or something of that nature. That's what I hope to see. So I could see that popping up somewhere from Raw potentially.
From
Also,
her promo tonight, real quick. You
mhm.
think she's going heel?
That's the
Becky?
thing about Becky is that I feel like it's similarly to Drew in that they can behave in a very dastardly manner, but because they've been so beloved to us for so long, we can kind of turn this corner of warm regard. I think something similar with Bryan Danielson in AEW, right? Like if you look at that character, that guy's a mean guy. But because he plays off of our long-standing warm regard for him, we don't go like, you're horrible. So even with Drew, like Drew's doing these horrible things, but we don't necessarily hate him. We can still sort of almost rationalize why he's doing what he's doing. Which I think is its own sort of really fascinating meta character that you could unpack in its own dissertation form in another time. But I like heel Becky myself.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Same. What about big time bets?
That one is that one's a little harder because I feel like this is going to sound really lame. Like, this is the lamest take of all time. Clip this. I want Becky's character to be whatever Becky wants it to be.
Oh,
because I feel like the big time Bex was something that she found fun and like the fashion aspect and kind of, but I didn't necessarily feel like she had as much creativity in what she was allowed to say.
Correct.
Because the speech, like the actual promo wasn't as genuine. Like there was a layer of inauthenticity to it that we don't get when she's the man. So if there is a way to bridge the authenticity of the speech of the man side of Becky with the like over the top fantastical aspects of the big time Bex, that could make like a cool super version of Becky where you can also ride that line. Like she can be a little horrible sometimes. I mean, we still love Bailey. Mm-hmm. Bailey shaved a girl's head, right? Like she pinned that girl. That's a horrible thing.
No worse than that.
Yeah, we forgive Bailey for a lot of sins. So I think she could do it. If anyone can do it, it's Becky. But
that's right.
Yeah,
I'm ready for next Monday. A lot of storylines being, taking that next step tonight. Like we said, we recap. Seth Cody was a big thing from tonight. Drew CM Punk, I think we're going to get eventually as well. Becky basically needs to combine her Hollywood Rock with Stone Cold Steve Austin. That'd be interesting, right?
Thank you. Yes.
I like that.
This one. No, I have never been told that. But thank you. She's beautiful. I appreciate that.
Like Melina from Eminem with Mercury and Morrison. You look like her a little bit. I can see it a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
That's definitely a comment. That's a bestie comment.
That's a bestie. Thank you, bestie. Thanks, bestie.
That's a bestie comment right there.
Thank you.
What was their name again? Should have gave him a quick shout out. Jeffrey.
Jeffrey has been a supporter. Jeffrey is a day one bestie. Okay.
Even if he does have a Braves hat on. Is that a Braves hat? Even if he does
I don't know too much about sports ball.
Yeah.
But I see you, day one besties. Jeffrey was here at the beginning. Oh no. Yep. You were here too. I saw you. I think you were teasing me last 999.
time. You do look like her a little bit. I didn't see it until someone else said it, but
well, I appreciate that. I think it's a compliment, so I appreciate that.
Legend right there. But we're looking ahead to next Monday. Everyone that's been commenting.
I didn't even see Nikki Cross this week. I'm sorry. This is the only
I know.
I didn't see her, but she
wasn't even in the Rumble, was she?
No, I don't think she was in the Rumble, and I don't know if I saw her wandering about tonight either. So maybe we need a missing poster for her. Like Ciampa had his missing Johnny.
We got to at least see her creeping in the background just to know she's there.
The funniest thing ever is that creepy. She's just so funny to me. She and Tatum Paxley should make a super creep alliance.
Yes.
And Tatum Paxley creeping on everyone. That would be perfect.
They need to let her do more like Tatum Paxley. Like Tatum, the way she's just throwing herself in the storyline with Lyra, like
it's good.
I would in WWE right now. The funniest characters: Chelsea Green, R-Truth, Tatum Paxley, Nikki Cross. Those are the 4 funniest characters right now.
Akira Tozawa.
Oh yeah, of course.
I just love him.
How did I forget Tozawa?
I don't know, but I love the dance, and I did the dance at my family for weeks with no context. I would just walk into the living room and do the dance.
Did you? Oh, we got to see that sometime.
We got to do that. Slam chats when we get to we'll get to a good slam chat level.
Yeah, there we go.
Tozawa dance. But it
throw that donation money at the slamchats.com and Amanda might throw in the Tozawa dance.
The Tozawa dance will happen. But I didn't explain what was going on. Like I didn't tell my husband why I was doing that, and he would just look at me like, "What are you doing?" And I would just walk away. And it was only to pop me. It was really funny. And then I eventually showed him the clip, and it made more sense. But for a while, it was just me. And the kids thought it was funny, but we're also just like, "You're so weird. What are you doing?" "You're so weird" is probably the most common thing that happens.
We're all weird. We're all weird in our own way. We're all a little bit weird, right?
That's what makes life fun.
Exactly. Any other way is just boring. And that's why we're the Monday Night Besties. Nobody does it better. Nobody does it better. But thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I know it's a little bit past midnight now. So everyone that watched Raw tonight, everyone that's commented.
Yes. Thank you for staying up with us, besties.
As always.
We're Tuesday morning besties now. We're a little bit long, but that's okay.
It's Tuesday now. We're getting ready for NXT.
It is. Okay, I gotta give you a pep talk though. You are so special. You are so wonderful. You make this world better by being in it. I know sometimes people are going through it. Mm-hmm. You may be going through it, but you will continue to get through it. And you are so important and valuable. And you are besties. So thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week to continue to be besties. Hopefully we get more Nikki Cross creeping around in the background.
That's right.
Find out all the good things that are going on in Raw. Right. Yeah.
Monday Night Besties.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Amanda.
Bye, DC.